I'm Apurva, an educational leader with 13 years of experience in the field of education. If I talk about my journey did not start in the principal's office. Whether you talk about I always resemble AI to two terms. One is artificial intelligence, but there is one more term which is art integration.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening and welcome to Principal Voice Matters.
Very good evening, Miss Ruby. How are you
Ma'am,
doing?
I'm doing great, ma'am. And what about you?
Thank you. Everything is
I
going
hope
great.
it's hectic or busy day from the school. After school, you are joining the podcast.
Yes, I just returned from the school and then got ready for your podcast. But it's
But
an
ma'am,
honor to be
in
here.
this summer break itself, you go every day or like how? You
Yes, an educator works 24 by 7, Miss Ruby.
so
It's
it's
just
like you
that,
don't get any break or don't get any summer break.
yeah,
Not for principal, it's for students only.
yeah. Either we are in the school, otherwise we are doing work from home. But we keep working every time.
Okay. Some
Yes,
future of India is, is in majorly in your hands and depends on how you guys are working and how you are shaping the future generation.
yes. I believe it's a big responsibility if
Yes,
we really take this accountability in our hands, we can do wonders. It depends how much we are able to contribute.
definitely, ma'am.
Yes.
So let's start with our core topic, ma'am. Today we are going to discuss with, like we often talk about curriculum, technology, infrastructure, so student achievement. But at the heart of every successful school is a teacher who continues to learn, grow, and adapt.
Hmm.
You already told that you work 24/7 for the betterment of the students. So same goes with the teacher itself.
Hmm.
And to discuss this important topic, I'm delighted to welcome Apurva ma'am, who is the principal of Narayana School, Sector 77 branch. Once again, welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Miss Ruby.
So,
Indeed, an
ma'am,
honor to be a part here.
thank you so much, ma'am. And before we discuss the teacher training, I would love to start with your own journey. Was there a teacher who had a lasting impact on your life, or what made that teacher special, and how you made up your mind that yes, you should be in this field and as a leader. Over to you, ma'am.
Oh, thank you so much, Miss Ruby, for giving an opportunity to introduce myself. So, I am Apurva Kharbanda, an educational leader with 13 years of experience in the field of education. Uh, Including 9 years into school administration, policy making, academic excellence, institutional growth. I always aim at nurturing young minds with a growth mindset so that they develop as future ready citizens of India. If I talk about my journey did not start in the principal's office. I started my journey as a teacher in chaotic classrooms, taking a lot of activities and then teaching a lot many students. And I realized that every teacher in the class herself is also a leader of that class. So great leadership is required when teacher feels confidence to even take risk in her classroom. It is very important to empower teachers, it is very important to empower students so that we can bring or achieve all the learning objectives or the vision of CBSE, National Education Policy 2020. And we could develop a value driven system in our schools where everybody, teachers as educators, students as learners, are regularly empowered. Right.
Definitely, ma'am, and thank you so much for the introduction. And as you introduced in your introduction itself, my first question, as you said, CBSE is saying about teacher training, and even though we should empower the teachers, so but how what do you think, what are, how we can make our teachers truly empower, or how the teacher training should be, in the school? What are the, limitations we are facing right now, and what are the reality or expectation? I would love to, listen the story from your end.
Right. So, Miss Ruby, as per CBSE NEP guidelines, the education industry is undergoing a revolution. Earlier, the sage on the stage, that concept now has vanished. A teacher has to be a guide, a facilitator, the torch bearers of 21st century skills, which are communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. If a teacher only is not able to think critically, if a teacher is not so creative in designing her lesson plans, then how children will develop creativity? The professional development of teachers is the need of hour. Whether you talk about I always resemble AI to two terms. One is artificial intelligence, but there is one more term which is art integration. So a lot much is happening. It's an era where teachers need to upgrade themselves. They need to understand that we are moving from what to teach to how to teach. They need to understand that we are moving from rote learning to conceptual understanding. They need to understand that it is the time when we have to move on, towards reading. Teacher also needs to develop that habit of reading. I will share one personal experience. I was taking a CBSE capacity building program for a set of teachers in a school, and the topic was art integration. When we displayed lot many dance forms, lot many paintings, lot many art forms on the screen, the teachers are not able to tell. And all those art forms, dance forms, they are a part of our Indian culture and heritage. So, till a teacher will not start reading and will not be familiar with our cultural heritage, how she is going to empower the students? So, it is very important the professional development of teachers. I believe this is one of the areas, one of the struggles of NEP 2020, and we need to overcome it as educators, as leadership role. It is our responsibility that we focus more and more on faculty or training programs.
But ma'am, how is that possible? Because sometimes if when we talk to the educators, they are like, they are more like, if like management will have such kind of program, then we'll attend. Like, they don't want to go on the personal level for that personal growth, because the mindset is like that. And nowadays it is about a lots of pressure also on the teachers, because they need to prepare a lots of things now for the next day in the classroom. Earlier it used to be the one they used to teach in the classroom, the kind of same stuff, but right now they need to have, yeah, a lots of changes are there. And even they need to have that kind of habit, or that kind of things, that technology is the part of the things, and that storytelling, creativity. So first they need to prepare before presenting in the classroom. So how that is possible? That should be the part of our regular day, or like after school hour, or how?
Rubiji, one thing you said very nice, change. And let me tell you, change is constant. Teachers have to accept this change. Teachers have to understand that why India is still a developing country, why we are not a developed country, why in our country the medical facilities, the education, why is it not free of cost? We are sitting with a huge population, like 150 cr, more than that population is there in India. Recently I was just looking at a post which said that Kerala government has they have announced free education. How they are able to do this? Teachers need to understand that change has happened. First they need to accept this change. That is why whenever we start a capacity building program or a faculty training program, first half an hour we just talk about the emotional intelligence, that why this change is important, why cbps, why cbse has to conduct so many cbps, why we have to force the teachers itni dur aao and then seekho, why this is important. Because if you people will not be empowered, students of the nation cannot be empowered. So first half an hour, always it is important to make the teacher realize why you are being trained, why your training is important. Once, and not only teachers, let me tell you, whether it is vice principal, whether it is principal, everybody has to train themselves. Today, if a principal is also not training herself or himself, they are not upskilling, they are not upgrading, they don't know the market trends, they are not aware how the nep is changed. Now we have to focus on skill based education, competency based education. The world is gone when we used to talk only about knowledge. Today, applying that knowledge, converting it into skills, and then developing a positive attitude or behavior in the child. When KSA, knowledge, skills, and attitude, when they come together, then only the child becomes competent enough to face the world. So once it happened in my school, there was a paper, and today the papers are competency based papers. And there was a parent. The parent has marked objections in the paper. This is not in syllabus. This is out of the book. This is not in syllabus. This is out of the book. So the teacher came to the vice principal and said that, ma'am, how will I face this parent? This parent is really telling that you've given the paper out of the syllabus, right? So it took 40 minutes, but the parent was sat and the parent was explained what is competency based education. The parent was informed that this is how critical thinking and creativity of the child will develop. So these questions are not out of syllabus, but these questions allow your child to think. The thinking sphere of the child will increase. So now, when the teacher's thinking sphere will increase, then only she will be able to question the child during revision sessions in her class, competency based questions. If teacher will not think critically and then a question paper comes which has competency based questions, then definitely somewhere the child feels stuck. Today in 10th class, 12th class, 60 to 70% of the paper in the coming time is going to be competency based. So if our teachers are not competency trained teachers, how they will prepare our children?
Definitely, ma'am.
Yes. So I think it is very important to make the faculties understand why this change has happened, what is the need of this change, and why your faculty development is important. This is very important. Why AI has come? It has come to actually reduce your workload. So once they understand that, oh, so many things are coming but they are reducing our workload, not increasing the workload, so they will start responding towards it.
Definitely, ma'am, and I completely agree with your point. Now we understand, why training, teacher training is important. Now let's move to the next phase because there are lots of, other educators who will listen this podcast. So they should be on the same page. Okay, as a principal, ma'am was facing this issue and this is how she solved it. So they can also take the learning. So now I want to understand what are the challenges, what are the gap in between reality and expectations and how you face those challenges and how you solve it as a leader.
Yes. So, like for example, as a leader, we would expect that the classroom should be executed aligning with the NEP goals. So, it is all related to lesson planning. Lesson planning is something the Indian schools are working on. It it actually shows how much is the teacher creative enough to prepare that lesson plan, right? Because it is the lesson plan in which you can integrate AI. It is a lesson plan in which you can integrate art. It is a lesson plan where you can integrate the 21st century skills. It is a lesson plan where you can integrate design thinking. It is a lesson plan where you can integrate computational thinking, right? So all these things are a part of curriculum. They have to be integrated into the curriculum. They are not separate things. Today teachers say artificial intelligence is separate. No, it has to be integrated into the curriculum. Fine arts is no more a separate department. As a separate subject, it will keep running, but you need to integrate art into your curriculum. So I believe one of the major struggles which every leader or every educator is facing today is creative and critically planned lesson plans, because lesson plan is something which the teacher is going to execute in the class. So if the teacher is really strong into lesson planning, the future belongs to her.
So, but how, as a leader, we make sure in your school also you must be having 100 plus teachers. In other schools
Yes.
also, some are having 50 plus, some 100 plus, and 200 plus. So, how we make sure that particular teacher is taking care about guidelines? Like as a leader, you say that okay, these are the things you should include. But
Yes.
at the ground, how we make sure that the teachers are implementing in the classroom? So,
Yes.
what you are saying that is delivering to the students. So how, that connections we make sure.
Yes. So here three things like we have to do. One is we need to do class observations. As a leader, in a day, at least 2 to 3 class observations should be mandatory, even if you are at irrespective of your leadership position, because the class observations tell that how much is being implemented. After noting down the observations in the class observations, this should be discussed immediately with the headmistress or the vice principal, so that it goes down to the teacher level also, that these are some of the observations and the key areas of improvement. Second thing is, we need to, as a leader, we need to have student feedback also. Like, how are the sessions going on? Are they really interesting? Or sometimes they become dull, or they are activity based, they are play based. So, and then third thing is how emotionally the children are connected to the teacher. It is very important to understand that whether children feel that yes, ma'am is paying attention to each one of us and all of us are involved in her session. So all these things will happen when we will monitor the classroom observations, which is mandate, which should be mandate. And it will happen when we will inform our teacher towards the areas or the scope of improvements, because positive in reinforcement or the training of the teacher is very important. See, teachers are the pillars of any organization, but then if they are guided properly, they really can do a magical effect. I believe every teacher is a magician. So it's just that sometimes they need a lot of mentoring. So we as leaders are here to mentor them, to just tell them that this is a way when you can improve. You're already doing great. That should be the statement. You're already doing great, but if you add this, it becomes more. It's like, adding more spices into the food becomes more delicious. So
Definitely.
lesson plan is that kind of thing. If they keep on adding more technology into it, some integration of art into it, some research based projects or PBLs, project based learning happens, so the lesson plans become more interesting for the child to execute in the classrooms.
And definitely very well answered, ma'am. And so there must be any assessment also for the teachers.
Assessment means, see, subject wise our teachers are expert. So instead of assessment, what I prefer is inculcating or bringing a habit of reading in the teachers. In my school, I've taken an initiative. I told all the teachers that 10 minutes in a day you will go to the library and read something. It can be anything. You read NEP, you read NCF in school education or the foundational stage, those books are also there. Otherwise, you read story books. Let's say a teacher of English is reading Sherlock Holmes. So Sherlock Holmes was where, it's all about investigations. So a lot of examples the teacher can give while teaching. If the teacher is, studying about Chanakya Nitiyan, Panchatantra stories. So morning she can enter the class and start her session with a beautiful talk with the children. So I told my children, read anything in the library, read story books, read conceptual books, enhance your learning. But 10 minutes is mandatory for everybody to read. And there is a notebook kept. Whatever you read today, date wise, just mention and go back to your classroom.
Oh, that's a great initiative, ma'am, I must say. Because
Yes.
that consistency matters a lot. It's not about one day you had already developed that habit. exam. And
Yes.
eventually, when we'll see after 1 year, it's the compounding form they are going, the learning will be.
Yes. And at least give something to the children beyond the books. See, today children can learn from any AI tool. Even if they put the PDF of the chapter and they tell the AI, give me a summary of the chapter is done. So, how your teaching is going to impact your learner is when you talk something beyond the books. If you're
Definitely.
starting a chapter of Newton's laws of motion in physics, start with the story of Newton, how
True.
Newton grew in his life, how did so much curiosity develop in Newton, and he became a scientist and he invented the laws of motion. So the classroom becomes interesting.
Definitely, ma'am. And
Yes.
there must be, some teachers who are doing, you think, they are doing exceptionally great, and some are, at the average pace. So how, what what you recognize that thing, okay, these teachers are my great teachers, and sometime you must be using them, or you must be, utilize them for the peer learnings, or having some you can say the trainings for the other teachers itself, or you can say, let's take it in other way. For example, some are the teachers who are having from the IT backgrounds, who have the more knowledge about the technologies, but let's suppose on the other hand who are not from the IT background. So what about the peer learning and how you implement that?
Yes. So, what we do, Rubiji, like in a week, at least once in a week or once in fortnight, we
Hmm.
all teachers we meet together, and if any teacher is expert, let's say you said IT teacher or computer teacher, she may be knowing one of the AI tools very well. Let's say Notebook LM or Gemini. So we will ask her to take a workshop of teachers and enrich the teachers with that knowledge. So we always tell how I take it, like, for example, if one teacher has really performed well or done a very good lesson planning as compared to the others, what I tell is, see how this teacher is coming out of her inherent talents. So we want every teacher to come out with their creativities, because definitely that creativity is there inside them. When we
Yes,
take capacity building programs, when we do activities, they participate so well. So the way we are engaging you and you are participating, the same way you have to engage your learners in the classroom and participate. So the teacher who is an expert of one thing, we utilize her services, and the teacher is definitely happy to deliver that knowledge. Because what I believe, Rubiji, that knowledge is power, and knowledge which is not shared is not worth. If you have knowledge into yourself, you share it to the people. When you share your knowledge, definitely the creativity of everybody develops, and your own also. The Maslow theory also says that.
definitely, ma'am, and true. And as you said, ma'am, like nowadays, even teachers, students have that access that they can upload any PDF, and then they can get the access or summary of that particular, you can say, the chapter. So students have access of AI tools, or you can say online content or information at their fingerprints. So how does this change the role of the teachers? So nowadays, there must be some extraordinary students as well. So how the teacher role fit in this kind of situation?
So here, teacher needs to first be aware of AI ethics and integrity, and she should deliver or have a talk with her learners in the classroom regarding AI ethics. For that, today schools are also doing lot many workshops where AI awareness is being created, where children are being told that do not open any AI tool with a Gmail account which is linked to your bank account. Do never do that. Children are being informed that when you write a homework question there and you just get the answer from AI, always check it, because humans have created AI are not creating the humans. So we are more intelligent. So when you get an answer from there, analyze that answer, whether it is correct or not. Is there any step missing or not? Again, question AI. Keep questioning AI till you don't get your perfect answer, but don't blindly believe those answers. So this awareness, if teachers will have, then only they'll give it to the students. So finally, always you can understand, no, our every question centers on teacher training. So,
Training.
teacher training, faculty training, and professional development of the teachers, educators is something very important for a institute or a school to be successful.
Definitely, ma'am. And ma'am, as you said, if I talk about the things has been changed a lot if we talk about in, previous 5 years.
Mm.
So how's the scenario is, for example, Apurva ma'am was hiring someone before 5 years, and now Apurva ma'am is hiring someone as a teacher. So what qualities has been changed now? What you used to see before 5 years in a teachers and what you see right now?
Yes, it's a beautiful question that you have asked, and I hope my answer helps every leader around me. So, what I would like to say earlier, when I used to interview candidates, we used to check their qualification as per CBSE norms, and we used to check their concept clarity, maybe how much expert they are into the subject and the subject mastery. That much was always enough for us, and maybe we'll ask them to create a lesson plan and then do a demo, and then it was over. But today, if you ask, we need teachers who can think critically, who have high levels of imagination or creativity. Let's say I'm interviewing an English teacher. So what I would tell the English teacher, I generally would ask her to tell me a story, and then give me a story, the same story with a different end. So to what level of creativity can she imagine? And then emotional intelligence, how much can she emotionally connect to my children in the classroom, right? So if there are different type of learners, every class has a different set of learners in the classroom. How will she meet the need of each and every learner sitting in the classroom? That is very, very important. Then second thing, other thing which we actually focus is, when you talk about emotional quotient or the emotional intelligence or the emotional connect of the teacher with the learners. Second thing which we'll observe is, when you're making a lesson plan, what has she included in the lesson plan that is going to develop skill in the child? Is it problem solving skill? Is it decision making skill? Is it collaboration, communication? What is your lesson plan focused on? Because the lesson plan that you prepare should at least include one or two skills which are being developed in the child as a learning outcome. Is she aware of the new changes in the education policy? Because I have seen many teachers are not aware, still not aware. As a CBSE certified resource person, when I go and train teachers of other schools also, we tell them what is NEP. So they're not able to tell. NEP is a policy document. And what is NCF? NCF is something that will tell you how to execute that document. So NEP is what, and NCF is how. So has the teacher gone through the NCF? Does she know what is NCF, National Curriculum Framework? And if it is nursery to grade 2 teacher, it's for foundational stage. If it is grade 3 above, it's school education. So it is very important for the teacher to be upgraded. Is she aware of AI? Is she aware of art integration? So I think the way we take in-depth interviews now has really changed. We look forward for teachers who have a growth mindset, who want to grow themselves also, who are ready to regularly upgrade and upskill themselves also, not only their learners. So a teacher who can bring that liveliness into her classrooms are actually rare to find, Miss Ruby. But then,
Definitely.
as a leader, these are some of the expectations or some of the questions that we should always ask our teachers, to have that value driven system. And a teacher should not be only teaching academics in her classroom. So apart from your subject, what else is important for you? It is very, yes.
Even I learned a lot about this teacher training today, and you answered, to the point, or you can say, okay, this should be done. Okay, these are the challenges we are facing. Okay, this is how we can solve as a problem solver. So
Hmm.
now we are moving towards the last segment.
Hmm.
So, ma'am, we talk a lot about, as you are, saying about NEP 20 or this NCF framework. So we talk a lot about innovations. We talk a lot about creativities. Lesson planning is one thing which we can include into the academics or design and thinking. So,
Hmm.
what is the one space you can say where we can see this innovation happening live, where we can feel, oh, this is the space, of the creativity or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so in a school, the best place where you can witness innovation should be a classroom, in my view,
Okay.
right? But then, yes, we have various infrastructural areas like skill labs are there. We have, robotics lab. And, if you talk about visual and performing arts, we have dance rooms, we have guitar, piano, music rooms, and a lot of creativity keeps delving into those areas. Sports grounds are there. Today, we are also into PBLs and research based learning when you talk about Kaushal Bodh for 6 to 8 and then Kaushal Vikas for grade 9. So I believe the most innovative areas become computer labs and the skill labs in a school, which should be there so that we can develop the creativity of the child, and it gives an opportunity to the child to think critically. And they should be able to compare like how technology is delving into India as compared to other countries, because today education, if really we want a future ready leader, there has to be foreign collaborations. A child cannot just sit in the country and do it, right? So comparisons are very important. So if I talk about skill based learning, these are some of the specific areas. Otherwise, every lesson plan of teacher should carry at least one skill that she's trying to deliver or develop in her children through her lesson plan. That is very, very important.
One important point you mentioned about the collaborations or the exchange program. So, how important is this student exchange program with the other countries? So, what are your say on that point? Although this is not related to teacher training, but I like
No worries.
very much.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, this is a very learner centric question, because it is these foreign exchange programs, they carry a lot of importance. For example, I'm in India and you are in USA, and we collaborate with each other. Okay, how, what cuisine is there in India, what cuisine is there in USA, what are the dance forms of India, like how is the Indian culture and how is the culture in USA. My school has this culture. Oh, my school has this culture. My school, I go in uniform. Oh, in USA we don't have uniforms. So child starts understanding cross cultural exchange. It develops public speaking, it develops confidence. This is a part of provocations, like how to provoke a child to speak. So child becomes more confident person, right? And child develops the ability to represent himself or herself on any educational forum. So I
So
believe
this is yeah. So what you are saying? So this is you're talking about it should be online or offline?
I believe if we go for cost effectiveness, it should be online, right? It
And
depends upon school to school how what approach they
yeah,
take.
because budget is also the
Budget is
constraint,
also
and during
important.
the budget, it is it cannot be multiple session.
Yes, because
Maximum one.
this is a platform where the country children, they are also learning from us. We are also learning from them. They are also learning from us. It can be on climatic changes. It can, how is the climate in India and how is the climate in the USA or South Korea or anywhere. So it's a kind of cultural exchange programs, and I believe I really support these programs. They should happen so that our children not only know about India but beyond India. NEP is all about beyond books, my dear. NEP is all about going, coming out of your comfort zones, basically. Let us
Definitely.
know about everything in and around us. This is what is NEP. Why to restrict yourself in one particular area?
And how frequent these programs should be, ma'am? If let's suppose we implement online, or anyone can help who a lots of viewer who must listen this program. Maybe someone can help us, in the community. Someone can come into our community and can help us.
Yes.
and we would love to have that kind of collaboration with that person itself. So as a principal, what do you think, how frequently this program should be, like once a month, or you can say twice a month, or you can say once in 2 months? So how that can be beneficial
Yeah.
for the.
So, minimum number of times I would like to quote here. Like a session is divided into 4 quarters, so at least one in each quarter should be there.
And how
Like
long the duration should be?
minimum 30 to 40 minutes, so that at least they get a chance to know each other and each other's country, and the topic learning outcomes are achieved. Because again, this is a kind of interaction where both side there are two teachers and they are expecting the child to learn something, right?
Definitely.
Yes.
So the
So
yes, yes, please continue.
minimum duration of the conversation should be minimum 30 minutes at
30 minutes.
least.
And what about the topics? For example, if we say it should be different for every quarter, or we should pick just one topic and throughout the year we should do the
No, we
conversation.
should pick different topics, right? And even if possible, if the topic is same, we can pick up different countries, right? So it depends how we are going ahead. So if topic is same, so different countries somewhere will go. But in this case also, you can change the foreign country, but India remains the same, no? So again, I would suggest the topics should be different. Like climate change is a very good topic of discussion. Culture and heritage is a very good topic of discussion. So there are many topics. Even AI technology is a very good topic of discussion. Health, health is healthcare facilities, they are very different in different countries. Like the other day I was reading a post in the newspaper, a clipping where it said that medical and education, these two should be free of cost and rest things should be charged, because this is something which takes away the maximum expense of a citizen of India, right? Yes, or anybody in any other countries. So these two things should be economical for a person, and right to education should be there to every child, the way the child wants to
That's
start.
what make our country or any of the countries strong. If education will be at the norm. Education cannot
Yes.
be luxury. But right now in India, education is luxury.
Yes. So very soon, when we actually achieve the real goal or the vision of NEP, maybe we definitely will move forward. And I think India is doing great. And I really feel proud of this new NEP 2020. I definitely believe it was the need of our and as an educational leader. And it is the time when children have to think beyond the books, they have to develop their creativity, and they should come up with beautiful new ideas. And it is the time, to sum up, if I say, like, teachers need to have data literacy. They have to analyze and instantly instruct for their datas. The teachers need to have cultural and emotional connect in the classrooms. The teacher needs to be, their lesson plans need to be agile and curated with new technologies, whether it is any kind of art forms or it is AI into it. And AI cannot replace teachers, but if the teacher is not ready to upskill herself, upgrade herself, definitely she should understand that I may get replaced. So I believe it is a very important that each and every person who is in the field of education or not start reading. I am a strong supporter of reading. Reading should be there. Everybody should read some or the other books which motivate you to for your further walks of life. And last message, I think you said this is the last question.
You already gave the answer of my last question. My last question was that imagine a young teacher watching this conversation, and someone who is just beginning their teaching journey. So
Hmm.
what advice you would love to give? You already answered that, mom. You already.
Yeah, so I would
So,
like to really
even
tell the
though like this
aspiring,
time we are so.
but yeah, Ruby ji, the teachers who are aspiring, I would like to tell them that stay away from gossips. I would like to tell them empower yourself as much as you can. Invest on yourself, invest time on yourself. This is also important. In our family responsibilities, we sometimes forget ourselves. but invest on yourself and learn from the teachers who are experienced and who love children, because a teacher who loves children will always be learner centric teacher. So there is a lot much that you can learn from the experiences of that teacher, right?
Yes,
And always enter in your class with a smile. Sometimes your lesson plan may fail, because this is the era when we are designing new lesson plans. That's okay. Step up again and be resilient enough to face, because your children again need you next day also. So I believe
true.
teaching is a very big responsibility which has to be handled with a lot of care. And a teacher should be learner centric, and also she should empower herself. That is most important point I want to give through this forum, that everybody should try to empower themselves and spend or invest time on your personal growth.
Definitely, ma'am, and I totally agree. And even I learned a lot from this podcast, and definitely it is going to add value. Although it was not scripted, we just discussed from the heart, which is the tagline of Global Edu Leaders, that talk from your heart. So we
Yes.
discussed through the conversations, and I enjoyed the conversation. So
I really thank Global Edu Leaders and Ruby ji to you for arranging and customizing this platform, where we leaders are getting an opportunity to at least give a message to the world what we want to speak. Because in this changing world, such platforms are really needed, where we all leaders can collaborate and create something new, right?
definitely, ma'am. And thank you so much once again for sharing your experience, insights, and vision with us today. And what stand out from this conversation is that future ready schools are, built by the future ready educators. While technology, innovation, infra are important, but what you said, that it is the teachers who inspire curiosity, who prepare the students who are the future of the India. So
Yes,
thank you so
definitely.
much once again, and I
Teacher
really
are the warriors, and let's pledge in this forum to train our teachers in the best possible way. I would really appreciate every leader, and I thank every educator through this platform who is contributing a lot towards faculty training programs, right? So thank you CBSE for launching portals like Diksha, where we actually teachers can take a lot of training and by not spending any kind of amount into it. So these portals are also helping them a lot to empower themselves, which is really the need of our. Thank you, Ruby.
thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so